Hi, I'm Antonio Mora. How does a presidential impeachment work? That's a question I'm getting more and more often as the inquiry into President Trump plays out. It's important to first clear up something lots of people are confused about. Impeachment does not mean removal from office. In fact, impeachment is best compared to a grand jury indictment because it involves the House of Representatives acting as a grand jury and voting to approve a series of charges. Then, like a court deciding whether to convict based on grand jury charges, the Senate holds a trial to decide whether to convict on the House's impeachment charges. More on that in a moment. So, how does a presidential impeachment process begin? Unfortunately, the Constitution does not provide a roadmap, and history doesn't either. In Richard Nixon's case, Congress voted to authorize the House Judiciary Committee to investigate possible impeachment offenses. In Bill Clinton's, a special counsel carried out the investigation, and Congress formally voted to commence impeachment proceedings based on his findings, without holding significant impeachment hearings. The only other impeachment proceedings against the U.S. president involved Andrew Johnson. They barely lasted a week from beginning to end, were highly partisan, and took place 150 years ago, so they're not good precedent. Trump's case is unique as well, especially because in the past, a full House vote to authorize impeachment proceedings came much earlier. Informal impeachment probes into Trump began months before Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced a formal impeachment inquiry in late September. Complicating matters further, those early hearings had focused on the Mueller report, while Pelosi's formal inquiry was an investigation into accusations that Trump inappropriately withheld military aid to Ukraine in exchange for investigations that could benefit him politically. For more than a month, that formal inquiry centered on closed-door hearings. Only then, in a mostly party-line vote, did the full House formalize its impeachment proceedings on October 31st, when it approved guidelines for public hearings. After all these hearings and investigations to move the process forward, a simple majority of the House needs to believe that the president committed an offense that qualifies as treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors under Article 2, Section 4 of the Constitution. The Constitution, though, does not define those terms, leading then House Minority Leader Gerald Ford to declare in 1970 that an impeachable offense is whatever a majority of the House of Representatives considers it to be at a given moment in history. The historical consensus is that the conduct does not need to be criminal to constitute significant grounds for impeachment. In Trump's case, because the investigation has mostly been conducted by the House Intelligence Committee, it will be tasked with reporting its findings to the House Judiciary Committee. If precedent is followed, and remember there are no rules, the Judiciary Committee will then deliberate on whether articles of impeachment are justified, debate them, and vote on each proposed article. Those are, in effect, the charges against the president. In Trump's case, reports are that House Democrats are planning on at least 4 articles of impeachment for abuse of power, bribery, contempt of Congress, and obstruction of justice. If approved in the Judiciary Committee, they will then be reported to the full House for debate and for what will be the conclusive vote. If a majority votes to impeach on any article, the power shifts to the Senate to conduct the impeachment trial. In a presidential impeachment, the Senate trial is overseen by the Chief Justice of the United States. Senators act like jurors. To convict the president, a 2/3 majority must approve at least one article of impeachment. Only then will the president be removed from office. How long is the Senate trial? Again, the Constitution provides no guidance. In Johnson's case, it took about 2 months, much longer than his impeachment proceedings in the House. In Clinton's case, it was about 5 weeks. Nixon, of course, had no trial because he resigned before being impeached by the House. Democrats and Republicans are reportedly holding talks about limiting Trump's possible trial to only 2 weeks. In the end, a presidential impeachment is the ultimate check and balance that the legislative branch has over the executive. The integrity of the whole process depends on legislators making decisions of conscience independent of their partisan interests. Unfortunately, in our highly polarized political environment, hoping for statesmanship is an impossible dream on both sides of the aisle.